Hello, welcome once again. So, James Bond, I think, has a great fandom. I really genuinely believe that. I'm a lover of Doctor Who, Marvel, James Bond, and I think out of the three, James Bond has one of the best fandoms, especially right now that's going. But there's some things I think, personally, some fans, kind of sometimes me included in that, warm to a certain thing for maybe nostalgia reasons, or maybe just to simply just love that said thing. But sometimes I think there's some reasons where I'm thinking, I don't know, I think there's something a little bit fishy with that one. So what this list I've got here is more okay, maybe my opinion on certain things. So you might not actually agree with these things, and that's okay. We can have a little talk at the end, a little titter-tat. This is a list of things I just think that it's 7 things I think James Bond fans don't want to admit. So, let's begin on my list, shall we? At number 7, Thunderball is Connery's worst. Now, I'm still amazed that people actually kind of like Thunderball, if I'm honest. I've never had a really good connection with Thunderball. It's too long, it's too overbloated. I get that the underwater sequence was great for the time, but it slows the movie down. Largo isn't a great villain. I'm saying it right now. He's not. You only like him because he has an eye patch. And that's it. That's all he's got on him. It really is. There's just something... It feels more abusive of the power that James Bond has. Oh, there's a jetpack. Have a wee jetpack scene, and that's it. There's nothing more to it. That was the movie where I was like... I still remember watching over, and I go, oh, this is when Bond now abuses its popularity of what people like to see. They like to see the big stunts, they like to see the beautiful girls, they like to see the, the over-the-top action. Sharks, there's that, I've always kind of felt he's worse, and I will always rather watch You Only Live Twice, and if I'm honest, Diamonds Are Forever. I think they're far more fun, engaging as well, movies, if I'm honest, than Thunderball. At number 6, Bluefield is the weakest Bond villain. Now, I know a lot of people don't particularly like Christoph Waltz Blofeld, and if that's what you're just thinking I'm talking about his Blofeld, no, I'm talking about all the Blofelds, if I'm honest. I would pick Raoul Silva, I would pick Goldfinger, I would pick Scaramanga, I like Trevelyan probably, to be honest, as well, as better villains than Blofeld. Blofeld is just not a good villain to me in all of them. There is not, it's weird how people say about Christoph Waltz that, oh, he's not in it much, he's not in it much. I'm like, well, no, it's really Donald Pleasance, really, to be honest. Like, Donald Pleasance really doesn't appear till near enough the end of the movie. He's only well remembered because of his iconic look. But if you actually ask someone about his plan and what he was wanting and like what he does, chances are a lot of people probably won't really remember. I just always felt a bit of a disconnect with the character of Blofeld, if I'm honest. He's more just the kind of the Palpatine to Star Wars, but he doesn't have the same threat because he just looks like a pathetic bald man. So I don't really get that, if I'm honest. If I'm honest, I do like Charles Gray simply because he's so camp in that movie, and I love a bit of camp. But I get a bit of a disconnect with Blofeld. I've always felt he is the weakest link of the Bond villains. He's probably the most iconic Bond villain. Definitely don't think he's the best in terms of villainy and actual threat to Bond. I kind of like a Bond villain who is generally like, he's a bit of a kind of, some sort of kind of threat, I guess. But I just kind of, I've never got that with Blofeld. At number 5, George Lazenby is still bad. Yes, for some odd reason, the more we get on with time, people seem to actually like On a Matter Secret Service, and they seem to actually like George Lazenby. I'm going to say right now, I still don't like George Lazenby, and I still don't like On a Matter Secret Service. Oh, shock, horror, God, because everyone, for some odd reason, loves that movie now, and I just don't get it. It's overbloated, it's far too long, it's dull, the action's boring to me, and as what I'm talking about in this list, George Lazenby is still terrible. When people come out with, well, come on, he wasn't an actor. I don't care. He shouldn't. I'm treating him as an actor if he's in that role and if he's in that movie, which he should never have been in. I find it all just frankly crazy, to be honest. I find him still wooden. I find him, and he is the worst actor out of the 6. I don't think there's any surely argument going against me saying that he is the best actor. Surely. Because people try and defend, go, oh, but he was great in that last scene, though. He's great in that last scene. It was like, he's alright, he's okay. Like, he's nothing compared to Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, where like he's panting, he's stressed, he's really intense, he's really the moment that, like, that's acting. You know, that's quite something. Like George Lazenby, it's just like, oh, I feel nothing from him. And every time I do a Bond marathon, and when I get on the Man's Secret Service, I do get a bit kind of like, oh right, okay, right, I have to go through 2 hours and 20 minutes of this movie. God, it's so long. I've never had a great connection with George, and I still just don't. But in the plus side, he seems like a nice fella in real life. I see a lot of kind of videos of him now, and he seems nice now. Because I saw some videos where I thought, God, he comes across as a bit of a big head boy, or a little bit almost. I've had sex with 105 women, you know. It's alright, cool. Won a medal. Yeah, I don't know. I still just can't get into him. At number 4, Skyfall is better than Casino Royale. Now, before you start, I love Casino Royale. I really love Casino Royale. But I prefer Skyfall more. For a good couple of reasons now. The reason why Casino Royale works is because it was based on a book. The reason why Skyfall was great is because it was based on nothing. It was an original thing, and I kind of got to give that a little bit more of respect. The reason why Casino Royale was so good because it was from a great book. Skyfall came from, God, some of the writers now, I can't even remember it was Skyfall how many had, but it was just great seeing original, you know, original thing that was great. Yeah, I love Casino Royale, don't get me wrong, but Skyfall, I probably watched Skyfall more than Casino Royale, if I'm honest. It's adventurous, it's got a great spectacle, it's got a great finale, and it's got a villain that's actually a threat to Bond. I like Le Chiffre. He's not a threat where, the type of threat I really like. I get that he is a threat more in terms of the money wise and that he's going to fund terrorism. I get that, but I like it when it's the actual villain, that it's the actual kind of overall threat. And Judi Dench is great. I love her performance in Skyfall. It's just, I love the whole look of Skyfall. Like, to me, Skyfall is like a proper British movie to me. It looks that kind of, that feel. Well, and that was this was the point of Casino Royale, where it was meant to look a little bit more kind of rugged and a bit more kind of rough, and I was fine with that. I like that. And I'm not saying I don't like Casino Royale. I just think Skyfall is better on so many levels. Like I love the score as well, Thomas Newman's score, which I'll be talking about soon. And as I said, I like that. I like the Skyfall Lodge. I like that they went to Scotland as well. Not being biased at all because I'm Scottish. Like that generally just looked great. Seeing the DB5 driving through there. The whole London stuff, I thought London looked great as well. Which I remember Sam Mendes says London is a hard city to shoot because it's not particularly the most colourful and vibrant looking city. And I do like Sam Mendes' direction in Skyfall. So I've always felt people just jump too quickly to, oh, Casino Royale's the best one. Casino Royale's the best one, because that's the movie I think people are programmed to almost kind of just automatically go to. And I'm like, man, Skyfall's like got some great, I like that opening sequence of Skyfall is still one of my favourites. I think the opening is really, truly superb. And the suits look great. I see this whole kind of, oh, the too tight, the suits. I was like, something that's too tight means that they look fat or something. Daniel Craig does not look fat whatsoever, if I'm honest. He looks great. Because I didn't like the suits and anything in Casino Royale. They were too big to me. But yes, overall, I think, you know, I think Skyfall is better than Casino Royale. At number 3, Daniel Kleinman is better than Maurice Binder. Now, I know Maurice Binder created the gun barrel, and I love him for it. But in time, Maurice Binder just became very samey with his opening intros. And it's quite jarring when you watch License to Kill. And then only 6 years until GoldenEye, and how much it just Daniel changes and what needed to happen with the titles. I think honestly Daniel Kleinman is the only thing where I think wholeheartedly is the better than what happened in the original stuff. Because I know some things would be like, a lot of folk like David Arnold, but a lot of folk kind of prefer John Barry, and I kind of prefer John Barry, if I'm honest, of like the music side and all that. Like, I generally love Daniel's work. I just, his intros generally have a theme, they have a storytelling that's happening, and some say like they're a little bit spoilery maybe, his intros. I think that's only a case when you actually see the movie, because I'm not gonna lie, when I see his intros, it doesn't ring to my head some of the themes that's kind of happening. Skyfall's probably the heaviest one for that, if I'm honest. But I don't think it's actually, it's not like, you know, oh, there's Judi Dench, she's dead, you know. It's not a case of that, I don't think. But overall, I've always kind of preferred, he evolves as well, Daniel Kleinman, where I don't think Maurice Binder ever did. He kind of stayed just the same, and it got very old and very tired. Not quickly, but like in time, it aged very quick, and yeah, I think Daniel Clement is the better one out of the two. At number 2, David Arnold is very overrated. Thomas Newman is very underrated. I think this is the one I'm going to get hate for here, but please bear with me and just listen what I've got to say here for this one. Please bear with me. I like David Arnold. I do like David Arnold. Everyone seems to love him in the Bond fandom, and I don't understand why. Okay, so let's just talk about his 5 scores I want to say he's done. So, Tomorrow Never Dies. My opinion, Tomorrow Never Dies score abuses the Bond theme probably to a point of it gets a bit of a joke, I think. I'm not the biggest fan of what he does with that. All Is Not Enough and probably Die Another Day together is just, there's nothing that sticks out to me in both of them. Those 3 just sound exactly the same to me. The only saving grace I can say about All Is Not Enough and To Die Another Day is they'll use a little less in the Bond theme. Because the problem I have, Bond theme should only be used for special moments. It shouldn't just be used for anything, and that's the problem with Tomorrow Never Dies. It's used so much to a point of, oh god, it loses the impact and the point of that music. Because I remember, I think it's like Dr. No or From Russia With Love. I think it's actually more From Russia With Love. It's like the music is used so much, it's like ridiculous. Like he's literally just walking about a hotel room and it's and it's just blaring. Not the biggest fan of that one. So we've got Tomorrow Never Dies, All's Not Enough, Die Another Day, all very similar. The techno music that he kind of put in as well, it aged very quickly to me. I just don't think it's... People kind of go, oh, but it's nice to have the sign of the times and all that, and I get that, but look what John Barry did, where his music from the 60s still sounds great today because it was an orchestra styled music where it fits the era of any kind of time, I think, and that's why still John Barry's music is so loved, because he was versatile in his music. So Tomorrow Never Dies, Will Not Enough, and Die Another Day, all similar. Casino Royale, I will admit, is his saving grace. I do love the Casino Royale soundtrack. I listen to it to myself. It's generally amazing. I will give Casino Royale that. Quantum of Solace is just Casino Royale to me. There's nothing special about Quantum of Solace's score whatsoever, which I find ironic because people have a go at Thomas Newman saying, oh, Spectre just sounds exactly the same as Skyfall. It's like, well, yes. I mean, it's the same with Quantum of Solace because that was the point. Those Casino and Quantum and Skyfall and Spectre are bright sequels to, you know, the previous movie. You're gonna have the same themes, that's the whole point. John Barry did it as well. I don't get why Thomas Newman gets such a beat down on, oh, he used the, you know, I heard that 1 second of music in there and it's... they all do that. That's not. I don't find that. I find it weird. But why do I think he's overrated? Because as I feel overall, it's like Casino Royale is the only thing I think is great. Is generally really great. I do love that. But the way people talk about him, like he's up, they put him up next to John Barry. Like, no, come on. John Barry's like he is the John Williams of the Bond movies. He's, you know, he really is the king of the music of the Bond. You know, when you think of music, you do think of John Barry stuff. So no, I just don't think. And Thomas Newman, I goddamn love Thomas Newman, because Thomas Newman to me brought back classic Bond music where it was more orchestra kind of styled, and I will always prefer that. And he used the Bond theme more sparingly, and actually kind of used it again, unlike, I don't know what was David Arnold. I get with Casino Royale, but then Quantum is just, surely Quantum should have had a little bit more kind of the Bond theme there. But Skyfall, there's a reason why that was, I'm pretty sure that got a lot of awards, that score, because that is one of my favourite scores, that Skyfall score. I really do like that one, and I really do actually like Spectre. I generally have on my best of Bond Spotify playlist, I have a lot from Spectre, because what I like what Thomas Newman does, he's good for keeping momentum moving, and I think he's really good with that kind of stuff. A great example of that is that long tracking shot in the opening of Spectre, where the music keeps building and is moving, and I really like what he does there. And the snowplane chase as well, I really like. And that's it's all like, most of that's all like new stuff as well, where folk was like saying, oh, he's just using the same old stuff. It's like, right, well, I've talked about that. Well, I think about that, but I just think he's so underrated. I would have maybe like to see him in the new one, but I'm on two sides when it comes to composers, because I think that's the thing that definitely needs to be a new fresh sound, is either keep the previous person, so Thomas Newman, or someone new. Don't bring back David Arnold. I could not care less to bring him back. A lot of people really want to see David Arnold back. I'm okay. I don't need him back. I really don't. I think I just don't want that. And going by the trailer and the TV spots it's kind of being about, if that's Dan Romer, I think his name is. If that's his music he's doing, I'm liking it so far, to be honest. So that'll be interesting to see with that one. But yes, I think David Arnold is a little bit overrated. Oh. At number 1, Daniel Craig is the best actor. Now, for a lot of people, they still think, and okay, rightly so, I get that Sean Connery is the best actor that's been Bond. And yeah, he's good. He's really good. He's really good. The problem I have with Sean Connery is like when he's down, it's really shown that he's down, you know, and that's a bit of an issue I have. I don't think that's a good actor. Like actually, as like generally not performance-wise, just in terms of being a professional, you know, because you're getting paid a lot of money, so you know, give me more. Daniel Craig, on the other hand, you know, I wasn't, and he clearly wasn't big on Quantum Inspector, like we all do, but he's still watchable in the movie though, you know, and both of them. And so I gotta give that a little bit more, and see, generally performance-wise, he's given us stuff that we've never seen from Bond before, and I will always praise that. I always will give that. But some people just don't really put him in that category. People just don't seem to like Daniel Craig to be high up. They're like, no, Sean's high. Sean's the best actor. Sean's the best actor. Yeah, he's okay. He's charming. But there's nothing in his movies where I go, wow, that's a great performance there. You know, I'm talking more, you know, acting performance, not, you know, James Bond performance, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just think, to me, I've always felt Daniel Craig is the best actor to play James Bond. So I'd like to know what you guys think of this list. Do you think I'm just talking a load of bull? I would love to know. And I would imagine you will tell me, as you're always doing those comments as you do. So, comment down below, tell me what you think about this list. Is there things that you think that certain people just don't admit in the Bond fandom? I'd love to know. So, more videos in the future. Until then, see you later.